Hi, I'm Jane Larson, Executive Director of CIS, the Council of International Schools. And I'm talking to you today from the Netherlands, where our office is based, and where all of us at CIS are now working from home to support all of you around the world. Luckily, we're used to doing this. It's what we do. We provide regionally based support to reach out and help you address the challenges you're trying to face. Today, I have an important message about how we're going to continue to support you amidst the new realities of international education we all find ourselves facing. Yesterday, our Board of Trustees met and shared their own perspective on how they're trying to address critical questions at their own institutions amidst all of this change. That broad perspective is tremendously helpful to us as we in turn try to share it with you and help you address your challenges. There's so much information out there, and our intention isn't to replicate it, but to fill the gaps and to do so in a way that's directly related to our core work, connecting schools and universities as we guide students making choices about international education around the world. Looking at school improvement, how to evaluate schools and focus on leading practices that work in today's world. And also taking care of children, protecting them in school, ensuring their well-being so that they can thrive and access new learning environments that we're all moving to right now. Our thanks go collectively to all of you who are reaching out to stay connected during this time of change. We really appreciate your messages, calls, emails, particularly those of you that are writing in to talk about what you're doing that's working and help us to share it with others. We'll keep doing that. New realities in international education are now taking hold as we all figure out how to educate families, students, at a time when we're required to stay apart, at a time when it's hard to know what will happen over the next 6 months, at a time when first students are trying to figure out how to access exams, and now that they're canceled, how they'll actually be graded and whether admission decisions will continue to stay firm and what universities are going to do about it. These are a multitude of questions that need to be answered and that we will try to collect, identify, and do the best we can to bring perspective to you as decisions are made around the world. We also realize what a stressful time this is. Yesterday, one of our board members said that emails are coming in with the subject line, emergency, and a number of exclamation marks. Another school head in China told me he doesn't know how much more he can take in terms of addressing concerns and continual pressure, trying to predict the unknown. These are difficult times, so staying connected becomes even more important. And so we'll also try to promote leading practices focused on well-being. And we'll set up a special place on our website where you can access these types of new resources, also about other critical topics like moving education to new learning environments, connecting schools and universities as they make these new decisions, and as I mentioned earlier, well-being. Last week, we published an important new article produced in consultation with our partners and experts around the world. This article focused on safeguarding as we work in new learning environments. Because sadly, there are people who will use those opportunities to access children for harm. That's not what we want to see happen, but by implementing some simple practices, we can reduce the risk around those that might be coming into contact with students through online education. At CIS, we're ready for remote-based work. We have colleagues based around the world. Why? Because we know how important it is to be able to collect local perspective amidst our global context. So as we think about practices changing, we're going to be changing too. We're going to be working together in new ways, either on a regional basis or virtually, to help you evaluate these emerging practices and think about carefully what works, and then pull that all together in a cohesive way so that we can more globally share what the new practices are with each of you in our community. This concept, building educational capital, was first coined by the Carnegie Foundation in 2006. Basically, what it means is looking at experiences and knowledge about successful strategies and ideas for international education, pulling them together in cohesive form so people do know what works. We'll continue to do that, and I'll be sharing some resources with you about this concept so you can foster these discussions in your own community, something that's going to be essential for us all right now. So now, as we're collectively compelled to change practices across the world, we want to support you. The last time this happened was in 2014. We began to look deeply into how effective our child protection practices were in school and university communities across the world as they focused on mental health and well-being. As we started to gather advice from experts, we tried to put that together in a way that would help schools, and we realized the only way to do that would be to change the standards that are used by agencies around the world who both accredit and inspect schools. And when we put these new standards into place, we knew that schools weren't be prepared to meet them. So we also realized we had a moral responsibility to first go out and educate people as to what they would be. We will do the same again now. Practices are changing. We need to make sure we're monitoring that carefully so that we can again look at accumulated knowledge about successful strategies, what's working. We will do that, and we'll do everything we can in our own evaluative work and through our own resources to share them with you. We've now set up a new resource section at our website, and for those of you who are members, you can log into our community portal where we'll track information around some of these areas of challenge, well-being overall, new learning environments and setting them up successfully for both students and for staff, and general information to help us all navigate the big changes we're facing right now. So keep the questions coming. We're ready, as I said, for our new normal, if you will, at CIS. We're well set up for that. So stay in touch with us, and we'll do our best to take in turn what you're sharing about what's working in your community and put it back out there for everyone to learn from too.